I'm Clare Cooley. This is the Creativity Show. It's all about creativity, using our imaginations to heal ourselves, enhance our lives, help others. As I say, pretty much every single episode, expressing our emotions, which is something we can do through creativity, respectfully and safely, stimulates our immune system. So it's healing. Feeling feelings initiate thoughts. Thoughts can make us smarter. They can help us address the problems in our lives and in the world. So everything is good about creativity. Stepping into the creative flow increases our happiness. So that's what this is all about. Today, I'm going to share some framing designs I came up with because I've been an artist my whole life, and I've done many things along the way to pay the bills, but art is what I've always loved doing, so I want to get back to it. Even when I was waitressing, cleaning houses, working on the boats with the longshoremen, planting trees, painting houses, all the things I've done for money, I always wanted to get back to my art as soon as possible. And so I've always lived as frugally as possible. So I learned to frame, and then I've come up with my own framing techniques, designs. And I'm going to show you what I made yesterday, and I'm going to finish it into a piece of art today, which I think is maybe one of the simplest ways, the fastest, most frugal, functional way we could make a piece of art and hang it. So I'm all about walking lightly on the earth, using what we have around us. So with a little bit of paper, a couple dowels, and a cord, a few teeny nails, little tape, little paint, we can create art and hang it. So we're going to show you that whole thing. I'm going to start with Bodhi showing you some of the frame designs I've done over the years that are hanging here in the Emerald Lady. And these ones are all different versions of the dowel frame, which is an ancient, probably started in China, and it's going now. So you can see the different ways. I've used fabric so that's cloth with wooden dowels and cord. That is the small dowel cloth design that goes up to the third floor. Now we're looking at the larger dowel, but it's also cloth that has my prints that we make here at the Emerald Lady, are museum quality prints that Bodhi, the technician, makes here, so we can offer them without third-person markups or doubling the price in a gallery. So that frame you're looking at there is very big, and it's the first one I did, was huge like that. And it shows also the way I cut the mat to be a little more jazzy. And I have a mat cutter, and I have the minimal framing equipment, a chop saw for the corners and the mat cutter, and a glass cutting tool, very inexpensive, you can also cut plexiglass with. So you don't really need that much equipment to frame for yourself. Yes, we hear something.
Michael B is saying, yeah, framing. I used to own a frame shop. This will be great to see. And then Joni said, very nice. I will definitely be trying this. And very nice from Michael.
Joni, I'm so glad you're here. It always makes me happy. And very cool. Yeah, if we can afford it, you know, getting things framed at a frame shop is wonderful, and it supports the people that work there or own it. But I've always been an artist, so I've always had a very limited income. I never wanted to, you know, be away from my art any more than I had to, so I wasn't going to do jobs that required me to be gone all the time, because doing art makes me happy, so I wanted to get back to it. Now in life, I finally get to do art all the time, and but I'd still want to frame my own things, because even if I had extra funds, I'd definitely, you know, I don't know what extra actually would mean, because I'd always find a way to improve our home, our tools, or help someone else. That's my nature. So, yeah, I've always believed I have enough, no matter how little I had. And I'm going to read something. Maybe I'll read this now. Is that another message? Yeah.
So Michael said, love your mat cutting and design, very complementary to the art.
Thank you, from someone who knows about framing. I appreciate that. And yeah, I like to show the style, the design I like. I do, for some reason, with Irish, perhaps some Native American blood, some British. I've never had the DNA test, and my father didn't necessarily tell the truth when he talked about a Native American in our family. I hope he was telling the truth about that, because I'd be proud. But either way, I'm a human being, and guess what? We all came from the first human beings. So, you know, we're all of that, and we all were, you know, our chemicals, our molecules, I should say, were formed in the hearts of stars. So we all come from the same place out there in this mysterious, wonderful universe. So we're all related, and so I love Asian style, minimalist, simple, but there's examples of that in Africa and Egypt and all over the world. So yeah, I'm a world citizen, born in the cosmos, but we all are. So I'm going to show today, finishing this. Let me hold it up for you. I made this yesterday, and I'm going to show you this is the simplest way. This is a piece of material that was actually donated to us, that is used for giclée printing. And so I cut it this size, and then using dowels like these, I simply first taped the dowel and the material with my handy dandy big old tape. So I taped both ends, and then I roll it to the right place, and then I use these little tiny nails, little tiny nails, whoops, that's not even a nail, to stabilize it, to keep it from unrolling. I use an awl first, so that when I start hammering the teeny little nail which I stabilize. So first there's an awl hole, so the nail knows where it's supposed to go. And then I use to hold it steady and bam, 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 which you like my sound effects.
Great sound effects.
So that's all you need, a little tape to stabilize it. I think the awl, but you could use a nail.
Right. Let me get this better. Hi guys, I'm going to get this camera zoomed in properly. Focused. So that she can do some art.
There you go. So the other thing I use is these were prototypes. We used to have in our previous home, we had a master Japanese carpenter friend of mine living with us, working on the house in trade for room and board. And this was a prototype he made. So this can stabilize, so the obviously round dowel doesn't go where it shouldn't go while you're hammering in your little nail. So that's how simple that is. And you can use a fancy gold cord instead of a plain white one if you want. It's all up to you how, and you can use fabric, paper. This material is like fabric and paper. It's very waxy or kind of got a plastic coat on one side, so the ink, the medium, the paint doesn't go through it when they giclée print with it. And the other side is very paper, so it works great for art. And so I'm going to paint this. But before I do, I'm going to read this thing that I wrote from my heart yesterday. I haven't really edited it. So please keep your heart and mind open as I read this. I'm practicing saying not only what I feel, but what I feel is important to say. We all have something beautiful to share with the world. We all have something unique that nobody else can share, and that's ourselves. And I am a champion of sharing your authentic self with the world, and I try to encourage and be an example of that. Did you ring the bell?
No, that's the ambient music.
Okay. So let me read this, and there you go. It helps me face my fear to speak up, where every woman in this world, because it is sexist, is afraid to speak up. Some do it more often than others and face that fear and get more and more confident. I, at my mature age, am still afraid to do it, but I face my fear because, well, I love myself and I don't like living in fear. It's much more comfortable and joyous to let go of it. So that's part of this. And the other is to be an example of share what you have with the world that only you know, and that's you. And the experiences you've had, the things you've gone through. And I like to say, you know, what we go through is interesting, but how we get through it is inspiring. So that's the kind of stuff I like to share. So here we go. I was born into an economically challenged family, but even though once we lived 6 of us in a trailer in Salina, Kansas, I'm not white trailer trash. I'm off-white trailer recycling, recreating my life from the one I was born into. My rich imagination kept me from feeling poor even when we lived in a house with no furniture. Is that why people have always assumed I came from wealth, even when all I owned was one handmade pair of pants, a shirt, and a robe with a hood that became a pillow at night, a bamboo flute, a journal, dried fruits, nuts, seaweed, roasted soybeans, and a knife I used to make handmade sheepskin coats. I traded for what I needed. I chose not to touch money because I thought it had a negative effect on people. I had no credit cards, no phone, no one in the family with money I could call to help me out, but somehow, magically, I stayed safe. I credit my chaotic and sometimes dangerous upbringing for teaching me how to stay alert and move away from potential harm. Out among strangers, I was never attacked. The only place I ever got molested was at home. Life is strange, and people can be the strangest things in the universe. It can be the people we think we can trust that can hurt us the most. Real courage accepts the limitations we people are full of. True strength is forgiving everyone all of the time for everything. Self-love knows we deserve a heart full of sweetness, and letting go of the pain others try to pass to us is the only way to get there. Spending time regularly in creative reverie helped me focus on the good and let go of all the rest. From my earliest memories, rearranging what I found in nature, stones, feathers, leaves, shells, and flowers gave me hope. It made me feel like I could create a beautiful life from whatever was around me. I decided to make the lovely things I wanted in my life instead of just hoping someday I could afford them. Making things has always been a sanctuary for me. The more I created, the more my artistic confidence grew. I believed I could make whatever I wanted to have in my life. And it didn't have to be great to make me feel great. While creating, I feel a peace and confidence. Taking something out of my imagination and making it real gives me a sense that anything is possible if we believe in it. While creating, I felt serenity. The strength to deal with my challenges grew from the peace I found while creating. I didn't think I would have survived. I don't think I would have survived, and definitely not gotten to thriving without creativity. I'm so very grateful for all that it has given me. I want to share it with you and the world. We all need to have our hope renewed at times. Expressing our imaginations makes us stronger. We can use more strength. Exploring our creativity allows us to feel our feelings that initiate thoughts, making us smarter. Expressing our emotions, stimulating our immune system, helping us heal. Creativity can enhance our lives in as many ways as we permit ourselves to imagine. It gives me a great sense of purpose promoting this resource we all have within. Thank you for listening. Thank you for indulging me in speaking my heart. It takes courage for all of us, and a special level of courage for females, and a especially special level of courage for a mature woman. I am not participating in the confused world, sexism, ageism, racism, elitism. It's broken the world in places, and we need to repair those broken places by not believing that wisdom isn't an asset. Why should we be ashamed? I don't know. I have so many people who've told me you shouldn't admit you're 71 years old because you don't look 71. I'm proud I'm 71 and that I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still excited to be alive. I have so many blessings, health, and dear people that support me, like my son, like my mother. And you, Michael, Joni, Meg. You know, there's a number of you. Please forgive me if I don't know all your names. Some of you have initials, and I don't know you personally, but I feel you. And I have so much to appreciate. And we're in an era of superficial honoring, worshiping what I would call false gods, money and youth and sex appeal. We're so much more than that. We're all whole human beings. I've said many times, young, I didn't wear color or any ornamentation, baggy clothes that didn't show the shapes of my body, no jewelry, no makeup, nothing. And now that I'm 71, I'm having a good time getting dressed up and showing my stencil designs. This was the very first stencil design I did on these funky skating culottes that I felt very confident if I ruined them, it wasn't a big deal because they're so old. It literally has holes in it, but I don't care. I'm not trying to impress anyone else. I am living what I believe is important, which is to appreciate what we have and share what's good in our lives with others. And what's good in my life is I found creativity, and that's what I love to share with you, because we all have it and we can all use it to improve our lives and heal ourselves. So let's have a little fun making something. This is obviously one of my, is it in the right place? There? Okay.
Michael said, I believe we are a changing art, for of the creators or God, and we are evolving art forms.
That, the whole thing echoed so much that I couldn't understand it.
Oh, I must have muted myself. So I have to go turn off her microphone or I echo too much. I'll read it from out here.
Oh, beautiful.
Michael said, I believe we are a changing art, for of the creators or God, and we are evolving art forms.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I like to say, you know, we're all a piece of work, so we're all a piece of artwork. Let us be a piece of artwork in progress. Let us keep growing and expanding our view and our positive influence on others and our capacity to feel joy and love and compassion. That is the art of being human, is feeling it all and letting pass by quickly, expeditiously, the painful, difficult feelings and luxuriating in the pleasant feelings, and using them all to be more whole, and accepting all the feelings are part of the human experience.
Michael said, exactly. And Joni said, thank you very much for sharing your heart, Claire. It means so much and it's so healing.
Thank you, Joni. Thank you, Michael. It's my honor, and I have shared before that I have been criticized by people that I thought really cared about me. They said I preached or I pontificated, and well, maybe I am a born-again artist. It's helped me, so why wouldn't I want to use it to help others? How's that looking?
Great.
I need to make sure I don't smear by wiping off a little that came through. So I have my paper towels. I'm so anti-waste, Bodhi will tell you that I literally, after I use paper towels, if I use them for some water job, I dry them and then use them again. Because, hey, they came from trees. Yeah. And trees are beautiful beings.
Maybe I'll get the overhead camera even a little bit closer.
Sure.
For the next one. Let's get the overhead camera even closer to the details.
Okay, now I'm going to work here.
Oh.
Or here. First.
1 sec. Okay.
I'm just making it up as I go along.
That's the way to do it.
One of the joyous parts of creativity is it doesn't have to be a big deal. And we can just, you know, have fun. As any of you who've read my memoir or have heard me before know that I dropped out of school at 7 because I didn't really feel safe. It was a cruel teacher in that particular class, and so I felt safe out in nature, so that's where I went, and I just sort of disappeared without calling any attention to myself on the way to school every day, and came home at the right time, so nobody really noticed. Truancy officers didn't show up till I was 14, partly because we moved a bunch of times, and so, you know, they didn't catch up. But then they sent me to a psychiatrist, the school board, and the psychiatrist said, don't change. You're sane. The world is crazy. So, wow, you know. So anyhow, I didn't really get a formal academic education. So doing it has always been my education. So I feel very free to try things and experiment and not judge myself by anybody else's standards. Yeah.
Sumner Madison said, "Thank you for sharing your wondrous wisdom on Facebook."
Thank you so much, Sumner, an award-winning author, dear friend. That's quite, you know, to be told by some people, which is what happens when we speak up, which is why women don't. They're more likely, women are not trusted if they're confident, and men are trusted if they're confident. So there's a lot of inequity in the world, but unless we admit it, we can't change it for the better if we just put up with it. So I speak up when I feel like it, and when people say unkind things, well, that's real pretty.
Yeah. I'm going to find the perfect situation for this, and then I'll read Joni's comment.
Good, because I need to wipe the paint off the back of this before I go further anyway. And that's part of the deal. But if we do speak up, you can't be admired by some without being put down by others who maybe haven't found their courage to speak up, or maybe they've complied with the broken world rules that, you know, women should only be nice to look at and always sweet and always supportive of the males, but not have their own opinions and certainly not hold men accountable. Okay.
Joni B says, "Love trees. Always worth it to recycle when we can. I I literally hug my ancient apple tree and thank it for feeding us. I don't care if anyone sees me, ha ha.
Well, they'd be lucky if they see you hug your tree. That's beautiful. And yes, how did loving nature and appreciating our home and tree huggers and hippies and all that stuff become a denigration? And why? Well, fear makes us myopic and love makes us expansive. So those who, like the gallery owner who said, I can't sell peaceful nature in San Francisco. And I said, you know, is it because people in big cities, they don't want to be reminded of what they've forsaken, or maybe even what they've taken advantage of for their income, their business. And, you know, we came, our ancestors came here, most of us, and took the land away from the people that had been living in harmony with nature. And then we went to another country and stole people and brought them here to be enslaved, to make money for those who had the better weapons. And we wonder, some of us, hopefully more and more and more of us, why there's so many gun-related deaths. But you know, we had the quicker firing weapons, and that's what we used to impose our will on people that were living in harmony with the land here, respecting the trees, the water, the air, because we could, because we had gunpowder. And, you know, when they came up with the right to bear arms, people were shooting with muskets. You had to be really, really practiced at it to shoot 4 times in a minute. We actually looked this up. Now with automatic weapons, anybody can harm many people, can shoot lots of rounds in a minute. Is that advancement? Or should we really be proud of the advancement of being able to feed more, being able to employ more, house more? I think that's culture. So, how about this? So did we see how fast that happened? Now, if we were to do the math, this amount of this material, I don't know, $1 maybe, the cord, maybe 50 cents, maybe the dowels 50 cents. So for a couple dollars, and we could, you know, throw in a little for the paint and brushes, and maybe $2.50, and there we go. A piece of art ready to hang. And so I love, as Bodhi knows, I always say, what's the simplest way we could solve this? Whether it's restoring this house or making art or making video, telling a story, whatever it is, what's the simplest way? And if that works, great. And if it doesn't, what's the next? Instead of, you know, wasting time and materials. So there we go.
Looks great.
All right. So we will put this material, a link to it. When you want to tell them about that, we'll find it and put it up for people that want to find this giclée material. Tell them about how that works.
Yeah, we have affiliate links in the YouTube video where most of you guys are, down in the description. But I will add the link to this giclée fabric medium.
Okay.
It's a big roll.
Yeah, and I used a little bit of white acrylic paints on the end of the dowel here. I even put a dot on the nail heads so that you can't see them, and that's how simple that is. So there you go, and I hope you enjoyed it and you got some inspiration and ideas to have fun creating yourself, and I love to see what you do with my stencils or with your own ideas. I love to see what you're doing too. So thank you, Joni, for sending us the picture, the photograph of you putting one of my rose stencils on your guitar case. That was really beautiful and a wonderful use for my stencil, and you did a great job, and it was really fun to see. So is that it, Bo?
Michael Lee said it looks so good, Clare, and a beautiful representation of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. And I love being inspired by nature and sharing creative reverie with you. Any time we spend in peace, which creative reverie is for me and for others as well, we're increasing peace in the world. And anytime we're showing the beauty of nature, we're supporting us living in harmony with nature and in harmony with each other, and that's what keeps me going. Connecting with you guys and showing that. Thank you for being here, and we'll be back. I'm here every Monday and Thursday at noon, and just going to keep it going. We're just going to keep showing, you know, one after another, different creative ideas, and let me know what you want to see, and we'll get to it, including the jewelry that I made and so many things. Yeah?
Joni said, excited to try your framing technique. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much, Joni. You too. It's gorgeous out here, and we're going to get outside and get in the light, the natural light. Well, till we see you again, stay creative. Love you guys.
Thanks, Joni. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Michael. Thank you, Sumner. Thanks, everybody, for coming, and see you next time. And are you ready?
I am.
All right, great. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.